Yeah, our new double vinyl album coming out, which is a greatest hits live in studio package in next week, has 6 liner notes, one from each member of Twisted Sister and one from Malcolm Dome. And you know, it's not very often where you email someone and say, hey, I'm going to be in London next week, let's have lunch, and then find out that he died. So I had just sent him an email saying, hey, I'm going to be in town next week, let's have lunch. And then I get a text from my tour manager. And listen, on so many levels, he has been an enormous friend to me and the band, an enormous champion. He got it from the very beginning. He wrote about us so eloquently in Kerrang and in multiple magazines, and he's been on multiple liner notes because he's been at every major show we've ever played. I'm shocked, you know. I mean, I contacted him in May and I said, Malcolm, we're going to do this album, and it's going to have songs from Hammersmith, Marquee, and Astoria, and you know, I need just a paragraph from you because you were at all 3 shows, which spans 30 years, you know. And he wrote these beautifully eloquent notes, as he always does, and his notes are the final words on our liner notes. It's, you know, it's impossible. It's so hard to process this. Here's the guy that calls me and he goes, Pete Way is sick, you should call him. Pete Way is really sick, you should call him. Pete Way died. You know, this is the kind of thing that, does anybody even know what happened to Malcolm? Did he have a long-term illness and no one discussed? Because I never heard anything. Do you know anything?
No, I don't. I know. I would guess that his very closest friends would know what happened, but it's certainly not something that's in the public domain. And I did see a publicist comment that he missed an interview, and he never missed an interview, a phoner. And so it was not something that people saw coming. I think it's safe to say, and just such an encyclopedic knowledge of the genre and such enthusiasm, and long before you could look things up on Google, you know, you couldn't fake it. And you know, as someone that I admired from afar, living in Australia and sending stories to Kerrang when I was a kid, and just to run into him a couple of times at the Crowbar, and for him to remember my name, you know, made my month, made my year. So I really do. I just thought it was important to mention him, but I can see that it's, you know, it's something that's upsetting to you. So maybe we'll...
Yeah, I also want to add too that in 1986, when I ran the New York Marathon, Malcolm came to New York and we trained together. We ran together on the reservoir because he was a runner as well. Those are the kind of memories that stay with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a shock to everybody. You know, he was part of the mainstay of the whole British metal revival thing. And what happened was Twisted was adopted by the British press, as you know. It was perfect timing for us to show up there when we did, playing the way we did, as aggressively as we did, and for those guys to understand it and give us legitimacy where we had almost lost it back home. So it's a tough one. You know, I'm going to be in London next week. I'm going to be seeing some people, and I'm sure that the topic of Mr. Dome will be coming up consistently.
Yeah, I'm sure.
For him and his family, and you know, rest in peace and all the other cliches that go with it, but he'll be seriously missed.